Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Before we start and get to everything, I got to put the banner up here. Silly me. Subscribe and follow the podcast. If you guys have not yet done so, follow us on Twitter. If you're also tuning in via there, please like the video, share it, retweet the stream. Yeah, pretty much it. I was holding in a burp there, so excuse me. But yeah, victory, victory, victory. Let's start from the beginning, Matt. It didn't go well at the start. It was basically PTSD sort of carrying over, in my opinion, from the Atalanta match where Milan were seemingly dominated throughout the entirety of those opening, what you want to say, like 35 minutes the most,
Yeah.
where it seemed like Roma wasted plenty of chances with all their opportunities that they had. Obviously, Milan ended up doing that in the second half. But point was, Milan avoided the danger there. Bartezaghi looked very shaky. Obviously, we'll get into what Fofana did today. But overall, as a unit, the team was struggling, but they battled. And I think that was the most important thing was this, and this is to trademark Allegri, right? Where you're absorbing all this pressure. And listen, Milan should have been down. They were not playing well. But then the second you give them an opportunity on the counterattack with this player wearing the number 10 shirt, I mean, he's a genius. He is almost impossible to stop when he's downhill like that. And Rafael Leao's assist today is one of those plays, Matt, in my opinion, when you look back on his career years from now and someone asks you, your future kids, your grandkids, of what was Rafael Leao like? And if there could be a moment or an assist that feels trademarked of what his talent is, it was that run and layoff to Sriniya Pavlovic. So before we get into Leao, your opening 35-minute thoughts. Were you very annoyed? I know you had to catch up a little bit later, but it really wasn't a strong performance.
Yeah. Obviously, Milan haven't been playing their best football lately. I think there's a culmination of things that have played into that. We've touched upon it, the injuries, players kind of coming in and out, some players looking noticeably tired, fatigued. In this game, obviously, with Roma coming in, having the defensive record they did, on top of that, being a team that looks much more improved, looks much more organized this year under Gasparini, which I'm surprised it's happened as maybe smooth or as quickly as it has, because I thought that they had a good market, but I thought there were some holes in their team that still needed to be addressed. But regardless, this was going to be a difficult match for Milan. And you're right, the first 35 minutes, Milan weathered the storm, right? I think that they were able to get through that difficult period of really not playing polished, clean football. In really any area, right? I think that, they were inviting Roma to play the way they wanted to play. They were getting forward. You look at the chances created. You looked at the expected goals in this, which I'll obviously bring that up at a certain point when I pass it over to you. But it was a tale of two halves, and the halves were like an exchange. It was like more Roma, and then the second half was more Milan. Milan wasted chances just like Roma did in the first half, but Milan got the goal from an unlikely source on the scoring side. The guy creating it, we know he's a likely source of chance creation, right? Rafael Leão. To your point, that signature mazy run where he's willing to take on 2-3 guys and play a square ball into the box, and you're hoping someone's there. And we've seen him do this so many times over the course of his career at Milan, where he'll make those runs and the ball is typically met by like a Giroud or some of the other guys, but a lot of times he's making those square balls and there's nobody there. There's no one to get on the end of that.
The Coppa Italia final.
Correct. You can look and be like, this guy should have 15 assists, no problem, comfortably every year, right? I know people were saying, he's done it multiple times, but he's had to really almost limp to get to that number, when this is a player that is one of the best at his area when he's going like this in terms of chance creation and creating for players in that central area. Pavlovic scores. Obviously, later on, Milan get bailed out by Maignan. Dybala was perfect in his career at penalties up until that point, guys. He was 18.
Shout out to Alexa.
He was 18 for 18. This is a player that has been in Serie A for 11, 12 years now, give or take.
I think it's longer, bro.
Maybe longer than that, 2013, 2011.
We're old.
like he was with Palermo, right?
Correct, yep.
18 of 18. This is a player that is nails from the spot, and against a goalkeeper who has a noticeable record of not being able to save anything from the penalty spot. It wasn't a great penalty by Dybala.
No.
We've seen him take much better penalties, and I think we've seen players take much better.
Is that the Serie A record? That's not the penalty shootouts. Didn't he get his saved against Donnarumma in the Supercoppa?
I
They don't
think,
count
well,
penalty shootouts?
I think Serie A competition.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Clear
not
that up. Yeah, yeah,
correcting
yeah.
you. I just wanted
I
to bring
heard it
that
on the
up.
broadcast, and I was like, okay, 18 of 18. Like, you don't think of him as like a clinical guy from penalty spots, because you think you've seen other
I
strikers
do,
do it.
it's all he does at Roma.
But he converts from penalties,
At
right?
Roma, it's all he does, yeah.
And a great save by Mike Maignan. Look, I can't sit here and say well, it wasn't a great penalty. Maybe it wasn't, but the fact that Mike Maignan has been so miss from this part of his game, I'm taking this one. I'm taking this one, saying Mike Maignan.
Yeah.
I think he won man of the match. I think that Serie A awarded him man of the match in this one. I could
Okay.
be wrong, but again,
No,
a performance that, look, by no means was perfect. Milan still have a lot of things they need to do and build on from the second half, which was much better than the first. And there's things that obviously, again, they need to address when they do get guys back. But I think it says a lot about this team that recent results haven't been too favorable for us. The injuries. And despite all that, Milan somehow escaped with a 1-0 win, and they're getting guys back. They're going to get Pulisic, Rabiot, Estupiñán, Yashari training. So they're going to get that abundance of reinforcement back, and they're going to do it at such a time where you have Parma coming up and you have the international break, and now all of a sudden you want to be kind of creeping into the end of the calendar year, kind of flirting with the top four and Scudetto. And right now they're 1 point off the top, so results like this are huge, and those are the ones you want to bottle up and you want to take forward with you, that show that this team has character. They have some grit. They have that fight in them to get results from positions that otherwise maybe they weren't expected to win from.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot to digest. You went in the whole thing.
Sorry, I don't have that much time, guys. So
you're fine. You're fine. You could just let me know when you got to go, and I'll steer the ship. But yeah, to me, I think I get frustrated, obviously, at the missed chances in the second half, especially at the start of it. I thought Fofana's was just absolutely inexcusable. I think just to stick to Fofana right now, he better be worried, because his starting time and his position and opportunity, they're going to start actually dwindling once Yashadi gets an opportunity, once Rabiot comes back from injury.
Richie playing like he is today too.
And if Richie
midfield options, that midfield is going to be very congested and tightly contested very soon. And
yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get to, is that when Richie is playing like this, and Richie's a little bit more out of position with this, it's a bit more box to box, and you could see he was laboring up the field when he was sort of time wasting at the end when Mancini knocked it out. I think that was a nice performance by him, but if Fofana was just any bit competent today, Milan don't have to worry about that. Having two blunders like that within a span of a minute and a half or whatever it was, with the free kick and then the penalty being conceded, I was just disgusted by it. I thought Davide Bartesaghi, just to really kind of quickly talk about him on, because I wanted your thoughts on it. He struggled. This was similar to where he was against Juve, where he looked like a deer in the headlights. The moment was really a lot for him in a Gasparini system. It is kind of difficult to combat. He was going up against Sule, who's a very talented and strong player, but he didn't obviously have the best of matches today. I thought Bartesaghi actually battled a little bit well, because he stayed in there. And in the second half, I thought he was doing a bit more of a solid job. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest of performances. It was an overall poor performance by him. But I just think when you're a teenager, in moments like that, when you could start struggling, and we've seen his inconsistencies, it was just nice, in my opinion, to see him rebound in the match a little bit. So yeah, do you have any quick thoughts on him or some other players here that you want to?
Bartesaghi, I think that's very important too that you bring that up, because I think.
Thank you, Anthony. $5.
Because I think with Bartesaghi, obviously with a young player, if you're expecting to play a young player as much as he's played so far this year, which again, I anticipated him getting a little more minutes and a little more responsibility this year because of obviously one competition and the fact that, again, in this department, the area he plays in, we don't have an abundance of players to go through, right? So when you have injuries like Milan has, it's everyone on that roster is going to be utilized at some capacity at some point in the season. And Bartesaghi's been taking on a lot of minutes. And look, we obviously like Bartesaghi. We know what he's capable of. And, when you have a young player like this, you have to take the good with the bad. You have to understand and have expectation. Hey, this is a young player. He's going to fail. He's going to have moments where he wows you and he excites you. And he's like, okay, we maybe have something here. But that's where I think it's very important to have a guy like Allegri and have the group that we have, and some of the other, like, elder statesmen, the veteran players that we have in this team, is to usher him along through a difficult game where, hey, the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like maybe he's not playing that well, but you can't let that patch of form dictate the rest of the match, because you can step up at any point and be the hero and be a guy that gives you something that helps you get a victory, right? We've seen it many times. Guy has a poor performance, but maybe he wins a penalty. Maybe he has a big time clearance. Maybe he makes a big time save. Maybe he does something where it's like, okay, like you salvage your game and you find that resolve and that inner strength to get out of that part that was difficult and to channel it in a way that's positive. So I'm very proud of Partizagi. I think this is a player that, we've seen, having to mature and do it pretty quickly this year, right? Where, 19 years old, teenager, big physical profile, like he's got some ability for sure. And, moments like this where he's able to navigate a game and still come out playing pretty positively in the end is something he should take with him and move forward with.
I agree 100%. If you were to have a man of the match, Matt Santangelo, who would it be for you?
So I want to say like Rafa, because I thought besides the assist, which was spectacular, he had a couple other runs.
Yeah.
But I think the difference in this game was we kind of let Maignan and at times our defense, led them out to stray, right? Let them out to pasture to kind of like, hey, like you got to bail us out, right? First half, second half with the penalty where it's like, okay, we had some cheap fouls we gave away. Obviously that free kick that led to the penalty, the Fofana handball. And then you have Maignan kind of have to bail you out in, again, an area of his game that he hasn't really been able to bail Milan out at any point at all in his entire Milan career.
Thank God.
Like, I kind of want to lead in the direction of Maignan, because there's been a lot of talk about, his future, that he doesn't want to stay or he's not going to stay beyond this year. Yeah. He's had some very good performances this year, despite, again, maybe not being very great from the penalty spot. But the fact that we're able to have him make the save and bail out Fofana, bail out some of the other players that underperformed in this game, I think is massive. And that's the mark of a good team, where, maybe have all your players playing at a top level, but you have a guy like Maignan who has shown to be a world-class goalkeeper when he is going right, and he bails you out and he gets you a 3 points from, again, a match that maybe it looked like we weren't going to get it from.
Yeah. I posted the video the other day, or tweeted the video the other day, of like his saves against Atalanta and even Juventus with Gatti. Like, these are point saving saves by him. There could be another 3 losses up on the board in these situations, honestly. And these points accumulate. We talk about how Milan dropped points against Pisa, but well, that might be true, but we could also talk about the other positive spins to it on how Maignan is saving points for Milan and how important those are going to be later on in the season. Pavlovic with that run, dude. This guy's a psychopath. Like, I don't know what he was doing there. I appreciate that he was there. Good goal by him. He put the ball underneath his kit. I don't know if he's having a baby. If he is, congratulations. If not, good for you. This player is such a roller coaster of emotions to watch. Did you notice at the end of it, or anyone else in the chat, and there's 460 of you in here, so we're very happy to have you, and like up the video on YouTube if you haven't. But Pavlovic went for a nutmeg in like the 90-something minute when Milan were like dribbling the ball up the field. I think it was right when Alexis Salamakers got knocked down. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? I get it, but you're a center back. We're trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't know. I just thought the reaction from Milan today was probably the most important thing. Christopher Nkunku, Leão dynamic. I thought Nkunku was pretty decent today. It was difficult for the entire team in that first half to begin with, but there were like a couple like flashes where like, oh, that's nice. Fofana. My God, there was a goal line save when Leão had the goal line save, and Fofana gets the ball. It was an amazing flick by Nkunku to open up and basically have a pass for Fofana to flash across goal, but instead he sends it to the other side of the box for Partizagi. He obviously crossed it over in the middle, and then, it ricocheted bounce. So we had that entire scenario. But for me, I just think that Nkunku looked okay, but every time Rafa was able to get out wide, we saw how great he is. that's just where I'm just a little confused. Is again, as we talked last episode, how is this going to work dynamic wise over 90 minutes over multiple matches like this? I thought he was fine. He has to still grow in within the team. I'm going to be patient with him, but I thought it was like okay. It really wasn't like a poor performance, even though like a lot of stuff won't probably show up on Fat Mob and all these other places that people get their information. I thought Nkunku was okay. I don't really take away too much though.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I was very critical of the Nkunku signing. Right. I was in the last video we posted on our IG. I still am. And not because I think the player isn't good. I think the player is a good player.
That's why they got to watch the podcast.
He's proven that he could be a very, very good productive player. He did it over multiple years at Leipzig in the Bundesliga. Chelsea struggled, had some injuries. Obviously, that team was kind of a bit of a disaster because they kind of bring players in and out, and it's tough for players to get consistent runs. So for Milan to take on that investment for a player that, again, like when we got him, all the talk was about a striker. And then all of a sudden, here comes Nkunku, and then here comes the medical, and then here comes the signing. And it's like, okay, fine. Like, I like the player, but where does he fit? And that's sort of more my criticism of Nkunku more than anything else, because I think, again, the movement looks good sometimes. Like, he's a player that you can be unpredictable in the box and a difficult challenge for defenders to mark and to understand where he's going to be. But I think that at this time, like, you look at it and you're like, okay, fine, but Milan need a producing forward. And if like he's a guy that's like, you're going to highlight, okay, he had good movement, or, hey, he did some decent things here, you're going to look and be like, okay, but is that enough for a 40 million player? Is kind of my point, right? So it was fine. Milan got the win. At the end of the day, like, that's the ultimate goal. If Milan get to the end of the season, Nkunku has 5 goal contributions, but Milan are title winners or the top 4, people are going to be like, okay, Milan got their objective, but they need to get more. Like, that's kind of the reality of the situation with Nkunku. Like, I like the player again, but I think that we need to start eventually seeing more in the goals and assist category, because, just good movement and, a couple glimpses here and there to me is not going to do enough.
It only takes you so far when you're a top 3 signing in club history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of the era we're in.
Like, it's the same thing with, like, real quick with Santi. Like, they on the broadcast, Matteo and
Chris Whittingham.
Chris Whittingham, right? In the US broadcast on the Paramount.
Yes,
They highlighted, they're saying, like, Santi's actually played well. Like, if you just remove like the no goals and all those sorts of things and the misses, like, he's done a really good job of like opening up spaces. Expected goals is really high. So like, he's doing so many things to get into the right positions to score, except scoring. The one thing is, that's his job. So it's like, okay, fine, you can do everything else, but can you score? Like, if you were a winger or a wing back or like a number 10 and you were creating chances and the guys ahead of you were scoring, no problem. But like, you're the striker, we need more than just, hey, you look good on expected goals, he's doing really well there. That doesn't do it for me,
No, of course. Well, I say it every week, and
so
Santi will get his opportunities again. I'm not sure how many before January, or after January, excuse me. So we'll see what goes down there. Again, the most important thing, the 3 points, and multiple people have mentioned it in the chat over here, which is a great point to make, is that we're getting players back now, healthy. Rafa looks a lot more healthy this week, and Nkunku's building up more conditioning, and then you got Rabiot coming back, Pulisic coming back. Like, these are players that are sorely missed. I know Roma are missing some key players today too up front, but nah, man, Rabiot and Pulisic, like, the dynamic there. I mean, Arne Yashari still yet to make like, again, we don't know what Yashari is in general, and I'm not saying like, oh, you put in Yashari, Milan's like completely like title contenders. He is such a big question mark in the sense of, how good is he? How much can he provide for this team? It's just interesting to find out what he can do to change their ceiling for this season. Again, with Napoli drawing against Como, Milan gained 2 points on them. Juve beat Cremonese, even though Jamie Vardy scored, he got a second goal in Serie A. And then Inter won in stoppage time. I didn't see it, but they beat Verona. So, which is really disappointing. Inter are just too talented on paper to count them out. We've said this time and time again, Inter are going to be there. But again, really important, get healthy, face Parma, We already know Pulisic is not going away to the U.S. men's national team during this international break upcoming. So he's going to be staying with Milan. Just get healthy. Pick up the 3 points against the side that you should be taking 3 points
Pick up
against.
the win and run, Mike.
And I'm just saying, I knocked on wood there. Are they really going to get that many injuries on the international break again? I would hope not. So I think if Milan can simply just stay healthy, and they're past this sort of rough patch now. It gets a little bit easier schedule-wise on paper, and I know we can't take teams for granted in Serie A. I understand that. But win against Napoli, win against Roma, a draw against Juve away. Listen, big matches so far this season. Milan's done pretty well. They've answered the bell against the top sides. Atalanta is still a draw too. I don't know. I think the vibes are okay. The most important thing for me right now is the health, because they're not going to win anything if they don't get healthy. Because these types of performances today, you come across a side that has good finishers or better finishers than what we've seen. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to keep playing like that. But I think them bouncing back after those poor performances to start this game and from Atalanta. You got any points you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of stands out for me with this Milan team is, obviously with the squad we have and new coach, new ideas, like trying to kind of make sure everything is looking seamless and everything's integrated, and we're playing, the best football and best brand of football we can under Allegri. I think that so far we've seen Milan, with the exception of Cremonese, of course, and I guess you could say Pisa. I don't know, you could say those games. They haven't like in those like really closing stages of games and the last like 15, 20 minutes where it's like, okay, like the game is tied or they have the lead, and then it kind of just slips and it falls and it collapses in those crucial moments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you maybe agree with that. I don't know if people in the comments agree with that, but you've seen, again, in certain games where it's like the way that Atalanta game shaped up, the way that this game shaped up, the way that some of these other games shaped up, it's like they've either been in moments where it's like, okay, fine, like it's you're within your right to feel disappointed that we didn't get a win from, the Juventus game or whatever the case may be. But they have it in those moments, like unlike in previous years, completely crumbled where you're like, oh yeah, I'm expecting this team to falter in the last 15 minutes, give up a cheap goal and it's a draw. Or give up a cheap goal and it's enemy lose the game. Like, I feel like this team, in those sense, they've kind of been a little bit more well drilled under Allegri to understand how to control the games and like the ending stages of games.
I think it's stuff like Luka. When they're like, Roma's attacking in those final minutes, to your point, in those situations. When Milan are getting those clearances out there, it's Modric. Again, you just watch this player very closely. Like, he's sprinting, he's trying to cut off any angles for other incoming crosses, right? Because those are opportunities. That's just another chance for the opposition to tie up the game. He's getting rid of that. He's clearing it well. I thought they were a little like not great on one of the counters where I think Bartesaghi sort of forced a pass offside to Salamakers. He wasn't offside, but like Salamakers was like tight up against the touchline, and it was just difficult. Shout out Stinker, by the way. Quick turnaround for a very good thumbnail.
Appreciate you, bro.
Stinker.
Thank you.
You're the best. And then we see all the comments. I'll try and get to them after this. But I think, they're just well drilled to that point. And I think the more often they do it, when you see what they did against Napoli, when they're down a man, and Napoli are pushing, they're fighting, they're trying to claw back into that to level that game. When they come out on the other side, not conceding like that, the only really late one that's an annoying goal was Nzola, which was a complete bizarre situation with
like
Pisa.
A train wreck accident, like a freak accident.
It was like, dude, guys are like collapsing like it was a third shooter at the JFK assassination or something. Like these guys are getting sniped from somewhere. I just don't understand how that was a thing. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But yes, I think that it was a good job by Milan to rally with this. Roma, honestly, they kind of seemed shell-shocked after that goal that Milan scored. They were just like, we were in all those positions, creating all these. And Roma, this has kind of been a thing with them this season, picking up results and the points, but scoring goals has evaded them for quite some time now. If you look at a lot of their victories, they're 1-0. They're not creating a lot.
It's not
Today
like,
was one of
yeah,
those days.
the way they've played so far,
Yeah.
for me, is not sustainable through an entire season. And I would say the same thing for Milan. Like, I'll be very, very honest. The way that Milan are playing in not defensively, because I think they I think we expected under Allegri that even with us not maybe getting, the needle moving central defenders that we expected in the market, we thought that, okay, Allegri with this group, like, there's a lot more from this group than we saw in the past couple of years. I think Allegri simply being a really good defensive minded coach in that sense will help elevate this department, that if nothing else, they'll play closer to their potential. And we've seen that, right? Like, Pavlovic has looked like exponentially better under a coach like Allegri versus Conceição and Fonseca, where it's like, he's not a world beater, but this is clearly a better defender this year versus last. We can all agree on that. Same thing with Gabbia, same thing with Tomori. As a group, they've played pretty well. It's the offensive phase where I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, fine. Like, again, like Nkunku, we're hoping that maybe he gets goals and assists coming soon. Santi hasn't done anything in those departments. Pulisic, obviously, we know he brings when he comes back. It's like, that's the really big focus. And I hate to keep harping on this because everyone in the comments knows what the problem area is for Milan. Like, they know they need a striker who can score goals. They know Santi needs to wake up at some point. But that's my thing. It's like, through a 38 match day season, at some point, you're going to need a striker to get goals, because you're not going to be able to get goals like this, that Rafa all of a sudden, 3 guys, he takes them on and Pavlovic gets a goal and you win the game. Like, that's unprecedented.
Yeah.
And if you're having to rely on that to get wins, there's a problem, obviously. So I'm not going to try to complain too much and be like leaning in that direction. But I think looking at it from all angles and through all different lenses is what we try to bring here. And look, it's not a great win, as I mentioned. It's a win. And this is what you expected when you have Allegri. You pick up the 3 points and you move. And you keep moving. And you hope that at the end of the season, you're kind of in the thick of things from an objective standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Milan, again, to what you're saying is not incorrect. With Milan, primarily health, because I think they're a drastically different team without Rabiot. I think Rabiot is such a key cog in this entire puzzle that makes Milan, operate at a highly functioning level. And on top of it, how many times would we be like, okay, Christian Pulisic is in. He's playing great. He's fit. Then he gets hurt. Leão comes back from injury. Nkunku wasn't up to conditioning. Santi's been struggling. And, all that stuff, it doesn't seem like Milan have been clicking and firing on all cylinders, right? Midfield was playing well. Then the defense was playing well. And Mike was good. Attack was lacking a little bit. Yeah. And then now when the attack is doing a little bit better and they're healthier, the midfield taking a step back because of injuries, in the defense, they were fine today. Coney de Winter, a little bit of inconsistency there. But Gabbia, just hats off to him. And shout out to Alexis Salamakers, by the way, for baiting Wesley into that yellow.
That was pretty.
That was perfect.
I wish it was selfishly. I wish he baited Mancini, because I don't like Mancini.
There is no player, and everyone knows that this. Mancini is a butcher. He is nowhere near the level of a title-winning center back, and this guy is only beloved because he's a nut job and he's aggressive. Is he a bad player? No, I don't think Mancini's a bad player. I just think the way certain fans defend that guy when he's so obviously a dirty player, it infuriates me. I don't think Mancini is a guy of class on the pitch. And, I say this as someone who is a Gattuso, stan and fan. But Gattuso wouldn't do things unprovoked. Gattuso was aggressive. Gattuso never was dirty like that.
Yeah. And
Mancini, for whatever reason, I understand why Roma fans love him, because it's us against the world mentality. I know it. It's my family. I know how they are. It's just funny to see that. So, Matt, just to wrap up here, your man of the match would go to Rafael Leão. Any other comments before you go here? Because I'm going to read everybody's stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Real quick, just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know for me, it was like a little bit of adjustment. I'm looking around, like the time change is kind of throwing me off a bit. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, like, again, big win for Milan. but they're all big wins. They all count to an extent the same. And the fact that Milan get a victory like this, they can ride into the game against Parma on the weekend. And to your point, like they have a little bit of a softer landing spot coming up, a little bit of a softer runway. That's huge, man. This is how Milan want to kind of approach with all the guys coming back. You start to kind of compile wins and you pass the buck over to those you're going to be competing with for a potential title in top 4, and you force them to get wins and you put the pressure on. And this is a team that I think has staying power in the Scudetto race. I'm not saying they're favorites for the Scudetto because they have to sort out their issues up top with the striker position. But this is a team that I think, at least from a character standpoint, from a preparation standpoint, this team looks like they're much more prepared this year. They look like they're a team that, is built to last in this chase. So a big win, and we keep it pushing to the weekend against Parma.
Yeah, absolutely. Nearly 700 people tuning in. Our good friend. That's your MVP for today, bro.
That's your Scudetto. That's your eighth title. That's your eighth Champions League title.
Yeah. Everyone go subscribe to Old Heart, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if you posted a video yet. Been on his channel before. Been meaning to get him on here. Now my schedule's up. We're obviously going to talk. Yeah. Absolutely. Just great channel. Everyone, if you don't already, good chance you do already subscribe to Old Heart, but go ahead and do it. Zion, buddy, love you. Appreciate all your support all the time. We got to have a quick chat, buddy. Got to have a quick chat because your comment on the video recently about Ademola Lookman and how you want him over Rafael Leão because you want Leão to go and do rapping somewhere else. I'm just curious. Do you have any bars for me today or no? Any at all? Because you can get them out now, brother. Because Rafael Leão just got Milan another 3 points. Don't forget the guy who won the MVP in this league. Okay? Don't forget. A little bit more respect would go a long way, my man. We appreciate you greatly, but I have to call you out after you did that. So I'm just saying,
you have to check.
If you're gonna talk, you have to come back now when that happened. But to your point, by the way, just your comment, he's good at what he does, defending. No bars today. LOL.
No bars today.
Yes, see that we love that because you're always here and supporting. But seriously, we do appreciate it. But yeah, to me, this is just a great 3 points, and it's so bad because you know what it is. My mood is immensely better. That's such a problem. I like when the Pisa and Atalanta. I was out of commission for like days, man. I was just like in a bad mood. Now,
pretty good.
I don't know. I'm like, what do I do tonight? Am I gonna go
watch sports? Pretty good sports weekend for me so far. Vikings won. I'm a Vikings fan. For those who don't know, I'm a Vikings fan. Watch NFL. They beat the Lions, so that was a big win. Packers lost on a field goal against the Panthers. That's pretty cool. And Milan won. So far, so good right now.
Yeah, bad loss by the Packers, by the way. Horrible.
Yeah.
I was so pissed when the Jets won last week. Dumbest shit ever. This comment over here, real quick. I don't think you listened to anything we said, to be quite honest with you. We did not overanalyze anything with Pavlovic. We gave him kudos for that.
And I was in like a joking manner. Like, this is a player that, like, we've seen him like try to take 3 guys on because he's trying to create something. And we appreciate what Pavlovic is as a player. Like, is he a perfect player? No. Is he a flawed player? Yeah, in certain degrees of his game. But like, this is obviously a player that scores a goal today, and he's noticeably better this year than he was last year. And me and Martino even said that, like, this guy has potential. Like, you have to take the good with the bad, and you have to take all the rough edges that come with this game.
I did criticize him a good amount, but the person who deserves the most praise regarding Pavlovic and talking about Pavlovic, because Nemanja, when he came on the podcast, he told us immediately when he was giving his scouting report on Pavlovic, he said he's better in a back 3.
Yeah.
And here we are, back 3. You need to probably rewatch the game emotionally. I don't think you're just listen, brother. You're not picking up what we're putting down, and that's okay. You have a blessed evening.
I mean, emotion, like, with all due respect, like, I feel like the emotion after the game is what people like. They want the instant reaction because when you let certain things bake, it could kind of warp the way you view the game.
Sure.
I like this. I like talking to people after the game. Like, if you disagree, that's totally fine. But like, am I sitting here saying all of a sudden Milan's just now they're the title favorites?
Come
No,
on.
like
No,
I just laid out all their flaws. I laid out that they're atrocious,
it was objective.
you know.
But the guy, no. Stop.
So
Please
it's all
stop.
good. Like, if we're not your cup of tea, that's totally cool.
I think you need to, if anyone needs to rewatch something, you need to rewatch the entire live from the beginning to the end. Because because Matt's different than me. He's not going to do what I'm going to do here. And the point is this: if you're going to constantly say stuff like this, come correct. Just be right. Just don't be wrong. And yes, emotion matters. It does. Fofana should be an NFL kicker. Now he'd probably be wide right all the time. Yeah, Matt is a Vikings fan and I am a Jets fan. Not great. But game 7, very sorry, Sabrina. Very sorry. Brutal 2 games in Toronto.
Brutal run out. Brutal.
Sabrina is the only person I feel bad for. I know there's some other good friends from Toronto as well.
I saw Lex tweeting about the Blue Jays. I'm like, bro, you don't follow baseball. It's totally fine.
Who's this?
Lex. I saw
Lex?
she was tweeting about like the game last night, and I was like,
she should go worry about Paulo Dybala on his last legs.
It's all good fun.
What team do you think have been the best so far? Have we been so much worse? I would say, Michael, that Milan are in the conversation for one of the best teams. I think everybody has had their moments slipping up in Serie A this season. Napoli have had a couple of drop points where they would like to have those back. Obviously, they did not play well against Milan. They just drew against Como. Inter had, obviously, that rough loss in the Derby d'Italia. They lost to Udinese. And for us, obviously, with Cremonese and Pisa, everyone kind of like points to that stuff. Roma, not great. But Matt, you're going to jet out of here right now?
Yeah, I got to head out, guys.
Say goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Martino, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks to everybody in the comments. Thanks to everybody who's liking, subscribing, following us on YouTube, all our social channels, helping us grow. Again, wins like this, it's awesome when we get to share it and celebrate and talk about it with you guys. So thanks to you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day, weekend, wherever you guys are at, and we'll be here next time for the Parma game with some sort of content. I got to see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you, Santangelo. I'm going to stick around and just read some of the comments and get that going. So thank you to Matt. Okay, couple of things here. Keep doing. Thank you so much. Support from Saudi. When Rabiot comes back, Richie moves to the right. As simple as that. I don't think so. I know what you're saying. I don't disagree. Casual combat, but ultimately, I think what's going to happen is that Yashari is going to get his opportunities. Loftus-Cheek will get more opportunities. There's going to be a box-to-box midfielder, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. That would provide that better. What kind of layout do we want here? Do we want this one? This one's a little bit better, right? We'll go with this. A win is a win, but you can't keep playing like this. Expect no injuries somewhere. I don't know what you mean by that. What are they doing that would make them have injuries? They play once a week. I'm not sure. Milan don't play like this hyper-aggressive, high-pressing style anymore. You know? I don't think that's I kind of don't agree or understand where you're coming from with that. You might just be paranoid. It's okay, Vasquez. I'll come back from the ledge. It's a low standard this season. There's no great team like Spalletti's Napoli or Conte's Inter. It doesn't matter, you know. That's what it is. Year to year, same thing last year. You know, it's just it just depends on the year. Inter seems to be one of the best. To me, Inter, I don't dislike Kivu, right? I had strong words about how big of a downgrade he is over Simone Inzaghi. I still believe that. What Inzaghi has done in his career, we can't deny that. Just because Inter is like an old team that stumbled to cross the finish line, like the reason that they didn't win those trophies was not solely on Simone Inzaghi. There's a lot of exterior and circumstance factors that play into that. Okay. So to me, I find that very funny when people do that. But Inter on paper, they're the best team. They just are. Best 11. Midfield still good. You guys see Sucic? I mean, just an incredible goal this guy scores. Adriano, yes. Guys, go and check out the Calcio guys. They're great. I was on the podcast. We're happy. You're right. They said it was you said it was supposed to be a must win, and they did. Just really positive. Do you think Maignan will renew? My heart and brain say no. Even though I would like him to, I would like Milan to always keep their best players. But the way the writing is on the wall with this situation with Maignan, I personally don't see this happening where he stays in the long run. I think he's gone. I hope I'm wrong. RLC is probably playing more as a forward than midfielder until January, I think. I don't know about that. I think we should just let Pulisic, Santi, Nkunku, and Leão. I don't think he'll be an attacker like that. Maybe you go to a 4-2-3-1. I don't know. I don't think so. Gabbia has to be in the conversation, one of the best in Serie A. I really like Gabbia. I think he's a really strong player in the sense of his consistency. I don't think his ceiling is anything crazy. I really don't. I think that Gabbia is who he is. I think he's going to be an above average Serie A defender. I don't think he's going to be in conversations or should be in like the Bastoni tier conversations. I don't think so. I think when it's all said and done with Matteo Gabbia, he's probably going to be one of the more underrated players that we have come across in this Milan, whatever you want to call this era of the 2020s and the past 15 years. I think Gabbia is good, but like, how much better does he get? I don't think so. I think one of the comments here saying he's very limited seems a little bit harsh, but he is limited. Of course, appreciate you too, brother. Are there many better? Well, Bremer currently, I feel bad for the guy. I think he's past it. Listen, Bastoni for me, head and shoulders above everybody else. I think that Mancini is like better than Gabbia. I wouldn't like if someone like told me Mancini's better than Gabbia. Sure. I think Akanji is better than Gabbia. I'm drawing some blanks on some of these center backs. Buongiorno on his day, but he's never like healthy enough. So yeah, you're good looking, President. You're looking good, President Zelensky. It never ends. It never does. I don't think I look like him that much. I actually no, that's not true. I do. Indica's good. Indica's a good player. Yeah, I think Gabbia, no, he's just sound all around. He's not elite at anything. I also think he's an underrated passer of the ball. Actually, he just doesn't get opportunities to show that as often. Yeah. I'm betting on us staying undefeated against Inter this season again. I wish for that. I keep him realistic. Did you guys talk about Fofana yet? He is a problem. Yes, we did. We talked about it. I don't think I want to talk about it anymore, but I could do a quick thing on Fofana here. If you really want me to rediscuss it, I could do it. Okay. So Yusuf Fofana today was just useless Fofana. To be quite honest with you, I don't think he put a good foot forward. This entire match, counterattacks, misplaying balls poorly, even when he's in the area, poaching, trying to score a goal. Wide left, like not even close. I'm not even sure what's going on in his head to do that. And then you're seeing that free kick given away when he didn't have to slide like that. He didn't have to do it. He didn't have to have his studs up like that. Every single little facet of his game today was incorrect. The wrong thing to do. And it wasn't just today. You're right. But it's been a consistent problem. As far as today's performance goes, again, I even mentioned free kick. Not even 5 minutes later or whatever in real time, he concedes that penalty. What are you doing? Who cares about your face? You get hit in the face, you go on the ground, they stop play. What are you doing this for? What is that? What does that do? Giving away a penalty. Finally, we were due for one being saved. But my God, man. Dude, it's all the time with this. Like, if I'm harsh on Musa, if I'm harsh on other players for not being intelligent enough in the biggest and most important moments, and we should have known. We should have known. Honestly, Manchester United involved, the only other team interested in him. That should have been the telltale sign right there. They wanted him. They thought he was good. And the thing is, Fofana shouldn't even be like he has everything to be a good player. But you watch him and you're like, Jesus, what is like? I just don't think that there's much going on up here when he's out there. And that's his biggest problem. I hope he could turn it around. I understand why someone like Allegri would like him and backs him and puts him and plays him. I get it. I get it on that level. But at a certain point, you got to have consistency because this is poor play. You could have cost the team the match or points. I thought he was horrendous today, right? And he could have cost it in multiple ways. It's from, those fouls. It's also from the misses, right? He could have given up a goal because of that handball. And he also took away a goal with his poor finishing. This is too often. Okay? If anyone deserves the most criticism in this team, it's easily Fofana. I don't see how anybody could back him at this point. And I don't want to rip and harp on him any longer because Michael wanted me to talk about it in chat. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Take a break, bro. Come off the bench. You can't start 90 minutes for AC Milan. You can't. You're not close to the level and the standard that it should be. Bad player. Bad player right now. Maybe he'd be good one day. I don't know. Maybe somewhere else. Saudi Pro League. Well, Richie is naturally the one that should be dropped. I think Richie should be considered dropped. I think RLC, Modric, Rabiot could be fine with me. To me, ultimately, I think Yashari is going to get a chance. I think he's getting an opportunity. All I'm saying is this. I don't know for sure with him, but if Arden Yashari gets an opportunity, I would not be shocked if this guy runs away with that starting position. I think that if he shows any flashes of the potential that he has, it's going to be hard for Allegri to not use him, especially when I think he's going to be providing a lot of balance with that. 720 of you on Twitter and YouTube. I think about 100 of you on YouTube watching. We're going to wrap up the poll right now. Mike Maignan is that Milan podcast's live stream man of the match. Congratulations to Magic Mike. Leão coming in at 25%, 12% for other. But yes, what do we got here? No, you hope Modric stays. I can't believe they kept him in all game. Shows lack of depth. I mean, they had RLC to bring on, Vince. I hope you're doing well. They had RLC. I don't know. Like, honestly, that's the one thing today. Allegri waited a long time to make subs, and I just didn't agree with keeping him on. Oh, we do have a comment from Twitter. What's going on? Start Richie and give Fofana a break when Rabiot. Because I don't disagree, my friend. I think this is a good shout. It's a fair shout. I'll take you a shouty over Fofana. Yeah. Richie is just it's the fit and like his best position. But even though Allegri actually did comment on it, Allegri doesn't think he should be central in front of the defense. He doesn't think he's ready. Even though that's sort of like where he's been playing in his past career. So if Allegri thinks that, then we're going to see him more there. For me, with Richie, I just wish he risked a little bit more in terms of passing the ball up the pitch instead of, side to side. Again, we say it all the time, very Jorginho-esque, Jorginho-coded, as those kids say. So for me, I think it's good. But yeah, we're coming up around almost 50 minutes here. We greatly appreciate everything. It's a big week for Matt. He's pretty busy with some stuff. He's fine. He's fine. He's doing great. But he's just busy with a little thing, so he won't guarantee anything post-Parma this week. The both of us are going to be busy, so we can't guarantee anything like that. Podcast hopefully will be recorded again on Tuesday. Working on some good guests. There's so many people on the list. I'm trying to knock them out each week. We're going. So again, just the support has been immense. Again, if you haven't liked the live stream, please do so. Anthony LaFleur, thank you for the $5. All that stuff matters and goes a long way. Everything that myself and Matt make on this channel, which isn't much, right? And even though we greatly appreciate all the views and all those sort of things, every cent that we get that is either given to us by YouTube or you guys donating and being very generous and doing the $1 membership, we don't push for any of that stuff. We want to make this as free as long as we can. And we just put everything back into the pod, right? Like the equipment, the programs that we use, paying Stinker to make our great thumbnails, everything that we're doing, we just push it right back in because we believe in this. And, it shows when over 700 people are watching and listening. It's just really cool. We've built it up for so many years. Him and I have been doing this since 2017. So it's just cool. And Milan's still not back yet. It's an annoying ass club, but we're here all the time and we're true fans. So We appreciate everybody. And just a quick shout out to all the Geordies and Newcastle supporters that have been attacking us on TikTok saying we're not fans because we don't live in Italy. Listen. You guys are wonderful fans from all over the world. And I'm sure the majority of you in here don't even live in Milan. And you know what? That's okay. That's not what makes you a fan. What makes you a fan is supporting, waking up any hour wherever you live to get up and support and root for this team, right? Because if you've been a fan and you've stuck by them within the past 15 years, no one can ever tell you you're not a real fan. Doesn't matter if you go to San Siro or never been to San Siro. And this applies to other people in the content space that also cover Milan stuff and what they think in their minds is a true Milan fan. There's no such thing. You can't gatekeep fandom. Just be decent about it. Be chill with everybody. And that's all we want. Thank you for the great comments. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Adriano. Everybody also go subscribe to the Calcio guys. Been going on and been a guest over there. Again, they're fans of multiple clubs, including Johnny, literally fans of multiple clubs with Roma and that. But Adriano is their resident Milanista, does a great job. Nick also great, roots for a shit club in Juve. But hey, those guys are awesome, super sweet people. Really go. I would always push people in the direction to support people like them. They're consistent. There's one thing that's like really difficult for a lot of people to do because they don't do it as a profession. It's showing up and being consistent. They have been that, and they're great guys and they treat people well and they just deserve that sort of support. So please go and do that. I think you guys would enjoy it. It's good. It's a good dynamic between them. They're family. Again, Scotland. Okay. There you go. Jamaica. Exactly, brother. We had to go watch that. Prayer for Jamaica. Yes. I hope everything is okay over there. Please stay safe. Our guys, Milan Weekly Podcast. I don't know who's tuning in. There's always so many of you. Again, vintage apparel. I put everything in the wash. If Stevie is listening, I apologize. I don't have it today. I had to go away for a wedding this weekend. I just got back. I tried doing this. It's crazy. I also need to eat because my head is killing me. It's Fabio, Milan Coast to Coast. Just a quick question, Fab, before I end everything here. Is Gio alive? Is he okay? Because the Dodgers just won the World Series again. So I'm just curious if Gio is not blacked out somewhere in Los Angeles, being unwell. Great support. Gio is alive. You can confirm. Guys, also Milan Weekly, obviously. And Coast to Coast is what, dude. Coast to Coast is the funniest Milan show. I don't care what anyone tells me. That shit. Like I try not. I try not to laugh too much because the guy's doing it. You just, whenever I see Gio's face, and I just know something ridiculous is going to come out of it, I just can't help but laugh. He's so funny. Good peoples. He's a little buzzed out still. Yeah, long night. I'm still not okay. But yeah, everybody, 750 of you. Oh, just real quick, I want to get Nelmar in here, Washington D.C. area. Appreciate the support over there, buddy. Great fans over there. Torgrud is out there. I know he usually goes to watch the matches over there as well. So it's great to get all these comments on X, by the way, because Matt and I have relatively big followings on there. So we're happy to kind of migrate some of you or bring some of the content live after the matches. We really only want to do it live on here after the fact for post-match games. But as far as podcast goes, everything will be on there. Sorry, the haircut looks really good. I'm just checking myself out. Big fan in Albania. Oh, you guys, Albanian show out. Stinkers from Albania, our guy on our team. Dude, it's great. You guys are crazy, but in the good kind of crazy. And yeah, I know a lot of Albanian Milan fans, especially in the US. If it's not Italian American, the next big ethnic contingency is the Albanians. The Albanians are huge Milan fans. Yeah, we appreciate it, everybody. 743 of you. Again, follow us here on X if you have not done so already. Follow myself, follow Matt. Go follow all the guys at Milan Weekly Podcast with Fabio, Gio, Vinny, Presidente, and Stevie P, right? And then again with everybody else, it's really a good time. 3 points, we keep it moving real quick. For our last podcast, the vintage apparel. You guys should go and check it out. They have really good stuff. I mean, damn it. Let me pull it up real quick and then I'll end. Vintage Come on. I'm typing sideways, so bear with me. No. Got to be here somewhere. Where is it? No. What are they? No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job right now. Oh no, I can't find the link, so I apologize. I'll put it. It's in the bio of the description of the past podcast. So go and check that out. We're gonna give more information in the next pod. I just didn't have anything on me, so I'm an idiot, Stevie. So I apologize, but thank you guys so much for the support. And yes, vintage pitch apparel, bro. Yes, no, I did say it right, but I was trying to find the link on the site. I don't know why the site's not popping up for me, but vintage pitch apparel, as Adriano just showed once again. Go and check that out. It's got good merchandise. If you're a Milan fan, Inter fan, Napoli fan, they got everything there. It's good cotton material. We had a short form video on it that's posted on Instagram, so you guys should go and check it out over there. Again, Milan Weekly. Go and follow Stevie P. Go and follow all their social media channels. Other than that, we appreciate you guys so much. Take care.